My name is Wayne Clyburn. I live here in Vienna, Virginia, not far from Tyson's Corner. The reason that my wife and I started thinking about backup power had to do primarily with avoiding the nuisance interruptions of things like her medical device that's connected to power recharge. As an electrical engineer myself, and having worked in engineering in the technical field with the federal government and the U.S. military, things that are become mission critical require you to pre-think what kind of integration do you want in the complement of equipment you take to the fight. It occurred to me that if outages lasted longer than a day, wouldn't it be nice if you had the ability to take the storage you want to have for backup instead of the grid giving you the backup power? Why not feed it free from the sun to keep the battery topped off? And it was just a logical progression to go from backup power to avoid the nuisance outage to say, why don't we feed the battery back up using free solar? And then I chose metal standing seam from American Home Contractors because it was the easiest natural adaptable surface to use to attach without further penetration of the roof. I liked the idea of water integrity and using the standing seam to attach solar panels. And when people saw us go through this process, so I've had people stop me, I've had people take down the name and number of American Home Contractors, and maybe some people looking to follow up there. And as we get more experience and time with it, I would imagine there'll be people that will naturally realize that's a nice progression, backup power to a new roof with solar. That's the kind of idea I think I would sell to people. We started out with a realignment of our in-home wiring panel, the breaker panel, and had to replace it with a span. The way American Home Contractors approaches it, again, is back to integration. The idea of having a smart panel, and I believe the span panel as a product came from people who started that company who left Tesla. So you can already see the smarts coming on the scene here. And by doing that, we relocated our span panel to where we would in the future put that battery. It all came together nicely. I think my primary interest of motivating me to go solar in this last phase of the work with American Home Contractors was, as an investor, how much I was aware of projects I had previously invested in involving data centers. You know, AI is the big hot buzzword now, large language models, and I'm aware of the power issues for Dominion in building out its grid and the push to go away from non-renewable fossil sources to renewable. So as I watch the rate increases come, it isn't so much just independence power from the grid as it is being free of the full impact of future rate increases that I know are coming. So the idea of a seamless source of power that can go back to backup on power not only insulates us from the rate increases, it actually gives us a more continuity of life experience in the home. And I like the fact that when choosing American Home Contractors, don't just think the ease of install, the ease of understanding what you're getting and getting it at the right pace and the right time and the right value. You have to think about if there are service visits or warranty claims or other issues downstream, where a panel maker may be in and out of business, the person who actually does your install that can hold those warranties can actually help you with any repair or service needs in the future. So to me, that integration on the back side of the experience is as important as the front end. Oh, I should say also that the auction for renewable energy credits, American Home Contractors handle that too. That in Virginia, that's worth $35 to $40 a month. And for those who don't know it, Fairfax County, if you live there, gives you a rebate against your homeowner's tax on your property. I haven't calculated that yet. I'm in the process of putting that claim forward. They give you several years, 4 or 5 years of reduction in one's home policy or home tax credit. So as I look back over our experience with using American Home Contractors, following a good referral from the Tesla contact I made at the local dealership on Tesla Solar Day, gathering more information, following up with my questions of American Home Contractors, I would say that there are always unknowns. I mean, you never go into a project like this thinking you've got it all figured out. And I believe one proof of that experience for me that recommends American Home Contractors better than I could ever say otherwise is on the day of roof demolition when we had to pull off the shingles to get ready to put on that nice standing seam metal, which looks great. Everyone loves it. We found out there was more than the 5 or 10 deck boards, 4x8 deck boards that had to be replaced. I mean, those are expensive boards. It turns out that we had more damage than we thought. So again, you don't know everything. It's not foreseen. But in the moment while doing the first day of demolition of the roof, your roofing supervisor came to me and said, I recommend you call your insurance company right now and tell them what the damage we're seeing. We're taking pictures now. We'll upload them to your phone. I've got my agent from my insurance company on the phone, had them talk to me first, introduce who I was as the policy owner, and literally within hours got approval for full deck board replacement of my roof, which saved over $5,000, I believe, maybe slightly more than that, in deck boards alone. So how did I do that? I did that because of the expertise of American Home Contractors, who knew what they were looking at, knew how to take the right pictures, collect the evidence, and allow me and empower me as the homeowner to take charge of the quality of the project by helping out the whole process here and saying, insurance company, come alongside me, I have an issue here. Not all insurance companies are that favorable to it, but if you can get the right data, you never know, you might be even more successful than you thought. And we were. They say that the older you get, the more you're like everyone else you ever met, because you always bring something of life's experience with you and you never fully forget it. I came to this area and I've lived in this home where we reared our 2 young sons who are now in their late 20s, longer than any place I've ever lived. But to make the journey here, to be exposed and experience a lot of things in the world, to become a part of my life's experience. I've been to 2 dozen countries. I've deployed 3 times in the U.S. Navy. I lived overseas near Europe in the U.K. for 2 years, working with foreign governments and foreign navies from different parts of the world. And that just expanded my view of things aren't just best because America's doing them. Now, I know this is American Home Contractors, but again, back to that pulling all the pieces together, the puzzle. Having traveled to those different parts of the world, I could just focus on performance and credibility. And as a result, with American Home Contractors at my side, in my own global experience, I could realize that a smart U.S. contractor is going to know how to pull together the best of solutions from wherever they're sourced. And that's kind of an important thing. Know your supplier, know your source, know how to stand by your product, stand by your work. And through that whole process, I would say this kind of is a bookend to my whole life experience, finding out that you learn new things from other places that you might not have expected. And I think American Home Contractors is that kind of company. It knows how to deal with various suppliers and establish relationships that strengthen the company as a whole.